Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates. My name's Ron Tyler. I'm the president of Emergency Management Associates, and we want to welcome everybody to our program this evening. We're glad to have you all here. Please, folks, if you will, give us a thumbs up if you like this program and you enjoy what we're doing for you here. Also, subscribe to this program. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe to it. And when you do that, click on that little bell icon right next to the subscription button. That will get you notified when we come on the air. Click on the word ALL, all. We'd appreciate that very much. Please stay here and watch the entire program. We have quite a lot of information for you. First off, we're going to take you out to the Gulf of America off the coast of Florida now for the splashdown and capture of the Crew-9 spacecraft that left ISS late last night as now splashed down in the Gulf of America. Watch this.
Freedom coming home to Earth.
And that view is from the WB-57, which is one of NASA's high-altitude planes that is tracking. Now, because of the way that this camera is configured, it does look like it is dark, but it is indeed daytime, and you're beginning to see that plasma trail as Dragon re-enters the Earth's atmosphere. All of that is expected. We are anticipating an acquisition of signal around 2:51 p.m. Pacific time, so just minutes from now. And you may hear
this is the first time NASA has been able to see a spacecraft coming in into the atmosphere this high and this soon.
In rapid succession, we'll have the drogue parachutes deploy at 2:53 p.m. Pacific, followed by the mains just 1 minute later at 2:54 p.m. Pacific time, ahead of a splashdown at 2:57 p.m. Pacific time off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida.
Pretty incredible views of the Dragon spacecraft making its way home back to planet Earth with the Crew-9 astronauts on board. Once again, this view is coming from the WB-57 plane. That heat shield we can see doing magnificent work as it works to
Freedom, SpaceX, contact.
All right, we're going to start hearing the SpaceX Crew Operations Resource Engineer.
SpaceX Cruising is with you. 4.16. Rejoin the ride.
Copy that, Freedom.
Great news there from Commander Nick Hague reporting back.
We see a healthy flight computer. Expect automated chute deployment.
Like we said before, things moving very quickly as Dragon Freedom makes its way home. Next event coming up will be deployment of the drogue parachutes. This occurs around 18,000 feet.
GPS has converged. Expect nominal altitude for drogue chute deployment.
You see the bottom side of the spacecraft.
Deployment of those drogue parachutes. Now the heat shield is continuing to work to slow the vehicle down. That entry period, the Dragon spacecraft went from orbital velocity about 17,500 miles per hour down to about 350 miles per hour. So it really gives you a sense of why that plasma builds up on the exterior of the capsule, thanks to the heat shield and the work that it does. Those drogue parachutes will slow it down from 350 to about 119 miles per hour. We can see
15 kilometers. Brace for drogue window.
We can see seat rotation happening inside the capsule. Great to get those first views of our crew members.
That's also one of the first time we've ever seen astronauts in the space capsule at this height coming back.
Those drogue parachutes that we manufacture here in-house are going to slow the spacecraft down to 119 miles per hour. And that is when we will see the main parachutes deploy, and that occurs about 6,000 feet above the ocean's surface.
And we are expecting drogue deployment at 2:53 p.m. Pacific, so we should see it any second now. And there you are getting a great view of Crew-9 inside Dragon Freedom as it returns back to Earth. We are awaiting the drogue deploys. This view coming from the WB-57 high altitude plane. And there you see it on your screen, drogue deployment.
Drogue descent responsible.
You can hear the crowd here.
Visual on 2 health drogues.
The crowd here very excited as Dragon Freedom continues to make its way back to planet Earth.
Next up, we'll stand by for the main deployment of the parachutes. The mains are quite a bit larger. You'll be able to notice the difference on your screen once they deploy, and they continue to ensure that the Dragon spacecraft slows down even further. As we mentioned, Freedom will be traveling 16 miles per hour when it splashes down off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida, here at 2:57 p.m. Pacific time this afternoon. And there we go.
We have visual on 4 healthy mains.
How about that, guys?
That view was from inside.
Freedom copy.
That view was from inside one of the buckets where the parachutes are located. So we see a great view there of the reefing on those parachutes, and as those main parachutes begin to inflate fully, 4 beautiful, healthy mains. Now awaiting visuals of Splashdown.
Freedom.
We'll start to hear Commander Nick Hague.
Copy 1000.
As we heard right there, Commander Nick Hague will be calling out the altitude of the Dragon capsule from here on out. Landing in water is simpler and provides more margin against unlikely parachute issues. You can see those parachutes continuing to slow the Dragon capsule down.
And if you're just joining us, you're looking at
800 meters.
a live view of Crew-9 just minutes away from splashing down off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida. Splashdown 2 minutes from now at 2:57 p.m. Pacific. We do have 4 healthy mains really doing the job there. Just breathtaking views of a calm, glass-like ocean off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida. Crew-9 just minutes away from splashing down.
This is really such an incredible shot.
Copy 600.
That was a live view from our recovery vessel, Megan, which is stationed a couple miles away from the splashdown site. We can see the crew there using their restraints as resting places for their arms. They were just in space moments ago, so their arms were able to float freely.
400 meters.
This is a gorgeous bluebird day here that we have for the splashdown of Crew-9.
The spacecraft will flow down to 17 miles an hour
Dragon
at
capsule
splash.
Just minutes ago was going over 17,000 miles per hour, and now gently coasting to a soft splashdown.
200.
Copy 200 meters. Brace for splashdown.
As you can see there on your screen, continuing to monitor progress of the Dragon spacecraft. And we're going to stand by for splashdown, located in the Gulf of America, off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida.
Location near coast of Nicaragua. Class light. Magnitude 4.6.
And
32 minutes
splashdown.
ago.
Crew-9 back on Earth.
How about that, guys? 2 astronauts finally home. 2 others brought them home.
And SpaceX Freedom, Splashdown. Good main release.
Copy splashdown. We see main chutes cut. Nick, Alex, Butch, Sunny, on behalf of SpaceX, welcome home.
It's an amazing, what a ride. I see a capsule full of friends ear to ear.
I'm going to take this forward now so you can see the spacecraft being lifted off the surface of the Gulf of Gulf of America onto the boat.
Dragon Freedom has returned home, and NASA astronauts.
System safety verifications are in progress. We'll report back when recovery personnel are en route.
This shot, and it's such a beautiful sight.
There it is.
I personally
Hydraulic lifted it off the surface of the Gulf of America and placed it on the recovery ship Megan.
Charring from atmospheric reentry, it is the signature sign of a capsule that has returned to Earth.
This is the 4th time this capsule has gone into orbit and returned to Earth.
Continuing to stand by for our first crew member to egress or exit for Dragon Freedom following their splashdown at 2:57 p.m. Pacific time. Dragon undocked from the International Space Station at 10:05 p.m. Pacific just yesterday, so it was about 17 hours of phasing.
They've already taken the crew hatch off the spacecraft, and before that they had sensors that they used to pick up any outgassing from rocket engines on the side of the spacecraft and making sure it was safe for everybody to be there.
The International Space Station Crew-9 contributed to 900 hours of science, over 150 research experiments and investigations, making great use of the microgravity lab of the International Space Station, which celebrates 25 years of continuous human presence this November.
Looks like we're about to get our first crew member here upon egress of the Dragon spacecraft.
So we are standing by for that egress. Outside of Dragon, you do see one of those stretchers. This is the expected procedure, as the crew will be taken to medical facilities following their exit from Dragon.
We can see folks on board clapping as our first crew member.
And that is NASA astronaut Nick Hague, commander of Crew-9, now out of Crew Dragon Freedom. Some smiles, thumbs up, and a wave. Can't get any better than that.
Yeah, that is one happy camper, that's for sure. As we said before, it is standard procedure for all of our long-duration crew members to receive assistance upon egressing from the spacecraft. We basically help them move off of the recovery deck and into the private medical quarters for their initial consultation with the SpaceX flight surgeon. So we'll see that take place for all 4 of our crew members today.
Richard, I would love to also see Earth again after being in space that long. I mean Earth as Earth on the ground.
And we are standing by for the next crew member to exit Freedom.
We're going to stick around until the astronauts have all been brought out of the Freedom capsule, and then we will break away and do our own thing here. We're going to be talking about earthquakes in California in just a few minutes. I'm also going to talk about
Next step out of the capsule, we expect Roscosmos cosmonaut Alexander Gorbanov. His first space flight. Spent 171 days in space alongside NASA astronaut Nick Hague.
Looks like we're getting some cheers and clapping on board as Alexander is slid down the little ramp and placed into the mobility aid. It's again, big smile.
Yes, I believe they were really up there.
We've got great news for seniors. The Social Security...
I don't believe any of this.
They completed 286 days in space.
One of the remaining footrests being removed from the Dragon spacecraft.
Yeah, wouldn't it be funny to hear them say they're waiting to go to Disneyland?
As I said before, we generally try to have the crew members that are located in the two center seats aboard Dragon, and we like to have them egress first if possible, as it creates a little bit more movable working room inside the spacecraft. There is a recovery crew member inside that is helping all of our Crew-9 crew egress or exit from the spacecraft.
We are standing by for the next crew member to egress or exit Crew Dragon Freedom following a splashdown not even an hour ago at 2:57 p.m. Pacific time. Really have the recovery operations down pretty quick at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible to think that, just 5 years ago when we were doing the initial demonstration missions of the Dragon for Crew Dragon, that now we're under about 30 minutes for, to retrieve the spacecraft from the water, and just several minutes here while it's been on board, and to get everyone, really to get that side hatch open.
I have watched every manned mission to space since I was a little boy.
For those of you that have just recently joined, the Dragon had an on-time splashdown. Looks like we're getting our next crew member here. That is none other than Sunny Williams. Big smile, big waves. She, like her other crew members, now will be assisted onto the mobility aid.
There we have it, some waves, some thumbs up, and some smiles.
Definitely seems to be a theme among all recovery operations.
Absolutely. And of course, that leaves NASA astronaut Butch Wilmore inside Dragon in seat 4.
There he is. There's Butch.
We're getting some views of him now as he egresses or exits the spacecraft.
Once again, some elation and cheers there from Butch Wilmore. As we mentioned before, returning to Earth from coming from a microgravity environment can wreak havoc on the body. So it is customary and just standard procedure for all of our long-term space residents to get assistance once they are back on board the recovery vessel.
That's it, guys. All 4 astronauts are back on Earth. They are in medical on board the recovery ship Megan over off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida. They will be airlifted from the ship here and taken over to Cape Canaveral, Florida, to Kennedy Space Center. Then they will be airlifted after that to Houston, Texas, where they will undergo tests and then be reunited with their families probably sometime this evening. That's it. That's awesome. After 9 months in space, Elon Musk with SpaceX brought them home. Charlene is asking, did Elon Musk bring them home? Yes, he did. Thank you to Elon Musk, thank you to SpaceX, and thank you to NASA to have all 4 astronauts back on Earth, especially Sonny and Butch. That's awesome work. Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate it.
Location Mall, Chile class light, magnitude 4.2, 3 minutes ago.
Okay, I want to talk about some earthquakes. Okay, first, there was an earthquake just about 2 hours ago over in Chile. Okay, that earthquake has wreaked havoc. I should say, yes, it has wreaked havoc, but not NASA, jeez. Our agency, our U.S. agency, thinks they're gods, and they can do whatever they want. They believe they can do whatever they want and just get away with it, and say whatever they want to say. But that earthquake was a 5.8 earthquake. A 5.8 earthquake that they downgraded to 5.3. Incredible stunt. An incredible stunt. Well, look, I'm going to show you now how stupid it was. Okay? Let me open this up so you can see what's going on here. They downgraded a 5.8 earthquake. Half magnitude downgrade. This is standard procedures for that stupid agency, USGS. Okay? They downgraded to 5.3. Look at this. Look at this. Let me enlarge it further. Okay? I want you to see this. They downgraded to 5.3. They said there were 21 stations, seismograph stations, reporting what they were showing here. Guess what? No station details available. No station details available. Then they show a 5.2. They downgraded this thing to a 5.3. There is no 5.2. But here on the back seismologist study page, they've downgraded this to a 5.2 earthquake with 37 stations reporting it. But again, no station details. They're not showing any seismograph equipment telling us anything here. It was not a 5.2, and it was not a 5.3. Now, I want to show you this. They're showing a 5.5 magnitude earthquake. They downgraded this thing to a 5.3, but they're showing a 5.5 magnitude quake here. Again, I do not believe it was a 5.3. Okay, why do I say that? The first thing they show is a 5.3 reading here. First thing they show is a 5.3. But guess what? 5.81, 5.80, 5.80, 5.3, 5.69, 5.66, 5.41, 5.61, and a 5.91. Okay? It goes on and on. There are a total of 300 plus stations reporting this. This was not a 5.3 earthquake. It was not a 5.3 earthquake at all. It's incredible what USGS does here. They lie, they lie, they lie. And they just think that they can get away with it here. It's unreal. It's unreal. I can't believe they even did this. I just can't believe they did this. Now, let's go over to the USGS map. I want to show you where this earthquake happened. This is the greater USGS map here. Let's go over here to basically central Chile. There are 18 earthquakes over here along the coastline, the western coastline of South America. 18 earthquakes. They're showing 4. They're showing 4 earthquakes here. What a joke this is. What a joke this is. This is the 5.8 here. This is the 5.8. There are 5.6s, there's 5.61, 5.65, also on the scientific back seismologist study page. This was not a 5.3 earthquake at all. Okay? This is where Coquimbo, Chile is. Now, back in 2010, there was an 8.0 earthquake here. An 8.0 earthquake in Coquimbo, Chile. Okay? 2010. It killed 800 people. Killed 800 people and did massive damage. This was a 5.8 very large earthquake. Right along the coastline here. Right along the coastline. Let me bring this back up here. There we have it. Okay, now, this is 12 kilometers south-southeast of Coquimbo. Coquimbo, Chile is right here. This is a very large city here in Chile. They felt this quake. This quake has done damage here. This quake has done damage here. We don't have any damage reports as of yet, but I guarantee you, being just 12 kilometers away, approximately 6 miles outside the city, this earthquake did some damage. And we will have these reports into you all probably by the end of this program or tomorrow morning. Okay? That's a huge earthquake. This is a huge earthquake. Joe Shimpa is here in the chat talking about the weather. Folks, there is a lot of weather, granted. Okay? Yes, we have temperatures that are bizarre. Joe Shimpa says the weather is crazy, 75 degrees here, northwest Arkansas, chance of snow tomorrow. Isn't that wild? A chance of snow tomorrow, and today it's 75 degrees. That means the snow's not even going to stick on the ground. The ground is warmed up and the snow's not even going to stick on the ground. Crazy. Joe's asking any word about Yellowstone. Nothing's going on at Yellowstone. Okay? As I said last week, I reported on Yellowstone last week. Yellowstone is just fine. There's no major activity at all at Yellowstone. Yes, they are getting microquakes and tremors. Microquakes and tremors. There's nothing big going on at Yellowstone at all. Nothing. Okay? I promise you, if I even see anything that would point towards an eruption at Yellowstone, I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you about it before it happens. I'm monitoring Yellowstone like my left hand. I'm watching my left hand all the time. Okay? Nothing's going on at Yellowstone. It's quiet. It's quiet. The snow is not melting at Yellowstone because it's about 32 degrees today. Crazy. It's probably snowing as well. Probably snowing as well. Now, there's a lot going on. Okay? I want to take you over to California. Well, actually, no. Let's continue on with USGS map, and I want to show you what's going on around this world, and then we will go to California. Okay? Let's take a look at the world here real quick. There's some things I want to show you all around the world. Again, there are 18 earthquakes here in Chile, Argentina, the border of Chile and Argentina, and up into Peru. 18 earthquakes. The earthquakes don't stretch out of Peru today at all. They stay in Chile and northern Chile and go into Peru, that's all. But USBS is only showing 4 earthquakes. This is a 4.8 here near the border, up here in the Andes Mountains, near the border of Argentina and Chile. Okay, 4.8 earthquake up here in the mountains here. Now, look at this. You see a volcano here. This is an active volcano here in Chile. This is the border region of Chile and Argentina. Some of these earthquakes here up in the higher mountains of the Andes are volcanic. Molten magma down beneath the surface of the earth here. This is a 4.8 earthquake here, 92 kilometers deep. Okay, further north here. This is a 4.6 here. Again, it's in the top of the Andes Mountains here at the border of Chile and Argentina. This is a 4.6, 129 kilometers northeast of San Pedro de Atacama, Chile. San Pedro de Atacama, Chile. This is northern Chile. Okay? They're not showing all the earthquakes here at all. They're not showing but 1 earthquake here out of 3 here in Peru. This is a 4.2 moderate earthquake here. San Alejandro, Peru. Okay? A 4.2 earthquake. This is 109 kilometers deep. 109 kilometers deep. They're not showing any of the other earthquakes here. They're showing 1 earthquake here in Costa Rica. There are 8 earthquakes here in Central America. They're showing 1 earthquake that just happened here. It's a 4.6 earthquake here. This is the border area of Costa Rica and Nicaragua. A 4.6 earthquake here. Okay? There are 18 earthquakes here in southern Mexico. They're not showing any of them here. Typical. Very typical. Let's go over to Europe. I want to show you what's going on in Europe. Well, before we do that, again, we have another earthquake down here in the South Sandwich Islands here. This is another 5.1 earthquake. The other day we had a 6.0 here on Saturday.
Location, South Sandwich Islands region. Class moderate. Magnitude 5.5. Depth 19.3 miles 14 minutes ago.
So 5.5 earthquake hit here 14 minutes ago. They're not showing it yet, but they're showing this 5.1 earthquake. This 5.1 hit last night. So another 5.5 earthquake is hit here again. This is very typical. Okay, this area here is a huge subduction zone. Huge subduction zone. Plates, the South American plate and the South African plate are meeting right here. Subduction going on. Subduction. Also, the Mid-Atlantic Fault is also right here. Subduction. Okay? Then off the southeast coast of Africa. This is a 4.8 earthquake here. This is near Prince Edward Island. Prince Edward Island here. It's a 4.8 earthquake, 6.2 kilometers deep, or 6.2 miles deep, 10 kilometers deep. Okay? Let's go further north. I just love this. Okay? the Algiers here, Northern Africa. This is another 4.8 earthquake here. Again, 10 kilometers deep. Let's go over here to southern France, southwestern France here. This is a 3.1 earthquake. This is a 3.1 earthquake, small earthquake. 3.0, 3.9 are small earthquakes. This is a 3.1 here. This is the tourist resort area of France. This is in the tourist resort area of France here. Okay? 3.1 earthquake, and right here, this is a 3.3. 3.3 here. This is in the mountains just north of the tourist resort area of France. So we had a 3.1 and a 3.3 right here. Okay? There are more earthquakes than this. They're just not showing them. Why not? They're not showing any other earthquakes in France, in Spain, over here in Germany, Switzerland, or Austria. None. They're not showing any of the tremors and minor earthquakes here in the Alps Mountains. None. They're not showing any of the 24 earthquakes over here in central Italy. Okay? 20 plus earthquakes, 23 earthquakes here. They're not showing one of them. Why not? Why not? Let's go down here to southern Italy here. We talked about this area rocking and rolling yesterday. It still is. 16 earthquakes have hit here. 16 earthquakes have hit here. Why? Because, folks, we have a volcano that's getting ready to erupt. It has not erupted yet. It's very possible it won't. But the area is rocking and rolling because there's magma down beneath the surface. That's what's happening here. They have evacuated parts of the city here, and they may evacuate even more depending on how strong these earthquakes get. So far, the strongest have been 4.4, 4.5. We've had numerous 4.1s and 4.3s here as well. But the strongest have been 4.4, 4.5 so far. When we see a 5.0, a large 5.0 earthquake, that would indicate a possible eruption about to happen, or when a volcano does erupt, it sometimes has a 5.0 earthquake accompanying it. But again, this area is rocking and rolling, and USGS is still not talking about it. Very typical. Very typical. We have earthquakes still occurring over here in the toe of the boot here in Italy, and off the coast of Italy, Sicily area, we still have Mount Etna erupting down here. Mount Etna is still erupting down here. Okay? And the interesting thing is, people are skiing down the sides of Mount Etna while it is erupting. And yet, the scientists and the officials here in Italy and Sicily are telling people to stay off the volcano. Telling people to stay off the volcano. Why? Because this volcano is lofting lava balls down the side of the volcano. The volcano is lofting lava balls down the side of the volcano. Yet there's still people trying to ski off the volcano. Insane. Totally insane. Richard Smith is a 5.4 on the EMSC over the South Sandwich Islands. Not surprising. Not surprising at all. Over here in Greece, they're not talking about any earthquakes here in Greece. Well, guess what? Down here in Crete, Greece, the big tourist island here in Greece, there was a 4.5 earthquake here, and yes, USGS is not covering it. Not talking about it. Why? Inquiring minds want to know. Other parts of the world, USGS shows 4.5 earthquakes. They showed those 3.0 earthquakes over in France. Why are they not showing this? Inquiring minds want to know. They're not showing any earthquakes over here in the Dokanese Islands either. Volcanic eruption possibly could happen here. And they're not talking about it. They're delinquent. They're delinquent. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Earthquakes over here in the border area of Turkey and Syria, where 9.0 earthquake happened here just over 2 years ago. Not reporting any of those earthquakes either. No earthquakes being reported in Ethiopia. There are. Right down here in Ethiopia, right here. Not reporting. Totally delinquent. We are showing one earthquake over here. This is in Afghanistan. This is a 4.3 moderate earthquake here in Afghanistan. Okay, it's at the edge of the plate here. The edge of the plate goes through the Himalaya mountains here. It comes out over here in Afghanistan, Tajikistan, and Kazakhstan. Okay? They're not showing any other earthquakes here. What a joke. What a joke. Going down here to Myanmar area. Myanmar in northeastern India. Folks, this earthquake hit again here today. This is a 5.1 earthquake over here, Myanmar, eastern India here. A large 5.1 earthquake here. This is 107 kilometers deep. Okay, we reported about a 5.0 earthquake here yesterday. Unreal. Down here. Well, that's before we go to Indonesia here. Let's talk about this earthquake down here. Okay? This is down here on the Antarctic Ridge in the Indian Ocean. Okay? Prince Edward Island here. We talked about this a minute ago. 4.8 earthquake here. Brokefish Ennis here. Thanks for being here, brother. Appreciate you. Really do appreciate you being here. Let's go over to Indonesia. There are 16 earthquakes here in Indonesia. They're showing 4. This is getting to be a stupid joke. Okay? A 4.6 earthquake here in Luwuk, Indonesia. 84 kilometers deep. Interesting. Over here in eastern Indonesia here. This is another 5.0 earthquake. We keep having 5.0 earthquakes here almost every day now. 5.0 earthquake here near Masoki, Indonesia. We go south here. Okay? Eastern Java, Indonesia here. A 4.4 earthquake in Kepulauan Babar, Indonesia. Kepulauan Babar, Indonesia. 4.4 moderate earthquake here. East of Java here. Another 4.4 earthquake here in Timor-Leste. Timor-Leste, Indonesia. These are moderate earthquakes. They're not doing anything here. In this area especially, this is offshore. The ocean waters here absorb the shock. The ocean waters of the Banda Sea here absorb the shock waves of this earthquake. Incredible. Down here also in the Banda Sea, the ocean waters absorb the shock waves of this 4.4. Nobody felt this earthquake at all. We go back up here with this 5.0 hit here. People felt it. People felt it. It's right offshore here. Right basically within boating distance from the shoreline here. Now, yes, the people here are very, very poor. They don't have the best homes to live in. When a huge rainstorm comes over here and damages their homes, floods out their homes, and people flee and die. When an earthquake strikes, all kinds of havoc happen. Their little huts that they built out of cardboard and wood collapse. Unreal. But this earthquake is still offshore. Parts of this earthquake may have been felt here in the villages here of this province. Sad. Sad. Okay? But there also are other earthquakes here in Indonesia that USBS is not even talking about. Earthquakes happening here in Papua New Guinea as well. USBS not showing that either. USBS not showing any earthquakes in Fiji, Tonga, Wallis Futuna, the Legacy Islands here. They're not showing any earthquakes here in Indonesia or in New Zealand as well. What a joke. What a joke. Just briefly, let's go over here to Hawaii. Okay? Right here. They're only showing 2 earthquakes here. There are a lot more than that. If I was to show you seismograms here from the big island here, especially at the volcanoes, it would show a lot more earthquakes. Show a lot more. Offshore of Pahala, Hawaii here. This is a 2.4 at or near an undersea volcano. Undersea mount volcano here. Going further north here, near the coastline of Fern Forest, Hawaii here. Okay? This is a 2.4 earthquake here. Now what makes this special? Why are we even looking at this? This is just south and east of Kilauea. South and east of Kilauea. Where does this earthquake hit? Hit here in the lava fields here. Lava fields. When Kilauea last erupted, there were many fissures that opened up. Some of the fissures you see are underneath these lava plumes. These lava plumes, where sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide came out of the fissures, and the lava came out of the fissures as well, and it made its way to the shoreline. That's why this area is gray here. Why are we having earthquakes out here? Because there's magma down beneath the surface. There's magma channels down beneath the surface that go to the volcanoes. When Kilauea dumped out all of its lava back in 2018, Kilauea volcano dumped out all of its lava. They had a larger hole here in the caldera floor. Larger hole. And they sent drones down into the volcano here, and they saw the lava drain out of Kilauea. When that happened, all of a sudden, the floor here of the caldera where the lava had cooled and hardened here fell into the volcano. Within 2 days after the lava drained out, scientists were wondering what happened. One other volcano also here, Pu'u'o'o, also drained out. Pu'u'o'o volcano also drained out. Scientists wondered where the lava went. About 2 to 3 days after the lava disappeared, all of a sudden out of nowhere, all these fissures started opening up. 24 total fissures opened up here on the Big Island. 24 fissures opened up, and lava plumes became visible. Sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide started flowing out of these lava fissures. Lava poured out of the fissures all over this area. That's why you see gray lava area here. 24 fissures some of them are now named volcanoes. Some of those fissures developed craters and also remnants of volcanoes, and now they are named volcanoes. The Hawaiian people named them as volcanoes. Okay? Out over here into Leilani Estates. Look at all these lava plumes there. Lava flowed out of the fissures here and burned down 1,500 homes. 1,500 homes burned down and disappeared underneath the lava here. And like I said, lava flowed out of the fissures and came down here to the coastline. It added land here on the coastline of the big island here. You see the lava here. Unreal. Unreal. But this is what's happening over here in Hawaii. They're not showing all of the activity here on the big island for whatever reason. Just about a week ago we had 16 earthquakes here. Now we have none. Not a thing. Like nothing's going on. I'm now going to take you over here to Southern California. We're going to talk about Los Angeles and the LA area. Okay? I want to show you some earthquakes that are already here. Okay? This is over on the northwest side of Malibu. The northwest side of Malibu. This is a 1.6 tremor here. That's one of my kids calling my wife and I. My wife will take the call. Anyway, this is 1.6 tremor here northwest of Malibu. We go up here to the San Andreas Fault here. This is Lebec, California. Lebec, L-E-B-E-C, California. This is over on the Garlock Fault as well. The San Andreas Fault at the Garlock Fault here, a 1.5 tremor here. Out here in the desert, Maricopa, California, this is also a 1.9 2.0 earthquake. Maricopa, California. We go further south here. We're not showing any earthquakes around Hollywood. We're not showing any earthquakes around Pasadena. Any earthquakes at all, except out here. Okay? This is the Redlands. 8 kilometers, 4 miles southeast of the Redlands. This is a 1.1 tremor. Guess what? I'm going to show you a heck of a lot of other earthquakes here because USBS is lying through their teeth. I'm going out here. This is Garner, California. This is a 1.0 tremor. Out here on the San Andreas again. Right there. Morongo Valley, California. This is a 1.0 tremor here. We drop further south and west here. Fallbrook, California. 1.1 tremor here. We go south and east here. This is the Anza-Borrego Desert area here. This is a 1.0 tremor here. Further south over here on the Elsinore Fault. Julian, California. 1.0 tremor here. South of Julian here. This is a 1.6 tremor here. South of here, Ocotillo Wells, California. This is not Ocotillo Wells though. This is up on top of the Chocolate Mountains. This is a 1.2 tremor here. Now I'm going to show you what this red earthquake is here. These just happened. These earthquakes just happened. This is a 2.4 here. USBS has this as Ocotillo Wells, 15 kilometers, 7 miles north of Ocotillo Wells. Okay, it's not. It's not. It's southwest of Salton City. Southwest of Salton City. I'll show you Salton City in a minute. This is a 2.4 earthquake. South over here is a 1.6 tremor. This is a 1.7. This is a 1.8. And this is a 1.3. This is southwest of Salton City. Salton City is up here. It's closer to Salton City than it is Ocotillo Wells. Salton City is right here. Salton City is a ghost town. Salton City is a ghost town. There's nobody even living here unless they're camping out here because there's nowhere else to live. It's a ghost town. There are some tremors over here at Salton City, but it's few and far between. Okay? Over here on the northeast shore of Salton City, or of the Salton Sea, I'm sorry. Northeast of the Salton Sea, this is North Shore Salton Sea. This is also a small town here on the northeast shore of the Salton Sea. North Shore Salton Sea here. We come down here and we see that the San Andreas Fault runs right alongside the east side of the Salton Sea. We come down here. This is Bombay Beach right here. Bombay Beach is a ghost town. It's a shell of what it once was. Bombay Beach was just like the Blue Lagoon Spa in Iceland. Now they have abandoned tubs here. Nothing like it used to be. Nothing like it used to be. Bombay Beach. I'm going to show you 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes here at Bombay Beach. I'm going to show you seismographs here at Bombay Beach. You're going to be surprised. Okay? At Bombay Beach, the San Andreas Fault goes underneath the Salton Sea here. Comes out of the Salton Sea right here at the edge of the Salton Sea here in Calipatria, California. I'm going to show you probably close to 75 earthquakes here in Calipatria. 75 earthquakes in Calipatria. When the San Andreas Fault comes out underneath the Salton Sea, comes up here into Calipatria, then it makes a southwesterly turn, comes down here on the southern side of the Salton Sea. It comes down here to Westmoreland, California. Westmoreland, California. I'm going to show you earthquakes here at Westmoreland, California today. Unreal. Unreal. Okay? When it comes over here to Westmoreland, the San Andreas Fault goes south here. Goes south here right through the Imperial Valley here. The Imperial Valley of California. Comes down here to the town of Imperial. Right here. Okay, this town is probably about 10,000 people now. Back in the day when I was living in San Diego, I came visiting here with some friends of mine, and Imperial was just a tiny town of maybe 500 people. That's all that was here. Now there's probably 10,000 people here in the town of Imperial here. We're going to show you earthquakes here also at Imperial, California. Then we go south here. Go south here, down to El Centro, California. No, the San Andreas Fault does not come here. It continues south of Imperial, though, cutting through the Imperial Valley. Down here in El Centro, this is a town now of about 35 to 40,000 people here. El Centro is a big town. It's a big town because it's supported by the military. Okay? I'm going to show you probably 23.0 to 3.5 earthquakes here in El Centro today. 3.0 to 3.5 earthquakes here in El Centro. Just outside of El Centro to the northwest, this is the El Centro Naval Air Station. Naval Air Station El Centro. F-16s and F-18s planes are stationed here at El Centro Naval Base. El Centro Naval Base here. Okay? Earthquakes hitting there. Then I'm going to take you south, over here to the town of Holtville, California. Holtville, California used to be a town of probably 4,000 to 8,000 people, something like that. Now it's probably more than that. Holtville is a town where they have a Salton Sea Desert Research Station with a seismograph here. Down here in Holtville, I'm going to show you even more earthquakes here. Earthquakes all over Southern California here in the Imperial Valley. Literally everywhere. I'm going to show you earthquakes in Los Angeles. I'm going to show you earthquakes in Orange County. And I'm going to show you earthquakes down here in the Imperial Valley. Crazy. It's insanity. I'm also going to show you a 3.0 in San Diego. I'm going to go over here to downtown San Diego. Downtown San Diego City. And I'm going to show you a 3.0, actually not downtown, but just north of downtown area. I'm going to show you a 3.0 earthquake over here in Mission Valley. North of Mission Valley. At the San Diego Gas and Electric Facility in Mission Valley, San Diego. 3.0 earthquake here today. Are you ready to see some earthquakes in Southern California? Richard Smith says a 2.7 just hit Central California a few moments ago. 8 kilometers deep, 4 kilometers deep. Or not, 8 kilometers deep, 4 miles deep, I'm sorry. Ruthie B is here. Ah, gosh, it's good to see you, Ruthie B. Thank you for being here. Richard Smith is still reporting another 2.9, 3.0 earthquake in Antofagasta, northern Chile. But they're not showing it on the USGS map. So it must not have happened. Stupid USPS. Unreal. Unreal. Anyway, let's go over to the map now. Okay? Taking down the USGS map and showing you the seismograms. I can't wait. I can't wait. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun here. Okay, before we show you these seismograms, I'm going to reduce the size of this I just reduced the size of this picture here so you're going to be able to see these seismograms when I show it to you. Otherwise, the seismograms will totally be distorted. A seismogram is just a graph of the earthquakes that have happened here. Just a graph of the earthquakes that have happened here. Let's go over to the Channel Islands here. Let's take a look at the Channel Islands. They're just off the coast of Los Angeles. Okay? Look at this. Look at this, guys. We have a bunch of tremors here. We have some minor earthquakes here as well. But look what hit here just about 7:07 this morning. 7:07 this morning we had a 3.0 earthquake here in the Channel Islands. 3.0 earthquake here in the Channel Islands. Yes, we had some minor earthquakes here as well. Some 2.0 to 2.7 earthquakes here in the Channel Islands. And then this 3.0 earthquake hit here at 7 minutes after 7 a.m. this morning. Okay? Earthquakes here. Earthquakes. Go figure. Okay? We've had minor earthquakes before. Now you're seeing a 3.0 earthquake here in the Channel Islands today. Lots of fun. Lots of fun. Now, let's go over here to the desert area. Barstow, California. Here we're seeing tremors. Some long duration tremors lasting up to 3 minutes. We're seeing microquakes here as well. Microquakes. That's it. Not much is happening here in Barstow. Nothing. Now, why did I show you that? Because, folks, nothing's going on over in San Bernardino either. Or Bakersfield. Nothing. Over here in Lancaster. This is the Fox Airport in Lancaster, California. Here you're just seeing nothing but tremors here. 1.1 and 1.2 tremors literally all day long. The one line up at the top here is 5 a.m. in the morning. So we're covering basically from 5 a.m. to 4 p.m. All you're seeing are tremors here. Nothing more. Nothing more. Nothing's happening out here. Again, that's at San Andreas Fault here. Okay? Let's go over to the Grapevine. Okay, the Grapevine is over north of Pasadena, but it's along the Garlock Fault. Look at this. The Grapevine here is showing you tremors. Nothing but tremors. But look at this. Just after 9:14 a.m. this morning, 1.1 to 1.3 tremors here. This is the biggest activity of the day here in this area. The Grapevine. Loads of fun, huh? Loads of fun, lots of fun. Okay? Now, I'm going to take you over to Hemet. Hemet is over in Orange County. This is San Jacinto campus on the San Jacinto Fault. In the past, we've had minor tremors, we've had some minor earthquakes, but that's just about all. Nothing's going on here. All you see here are tremors here. Hemet, California. Okay? This again is on the San Jacinto Fault. San Jacinto Fault. Let's go over to Idlewild in the foothills of the San Bernardino Mountains. Look at this. Nothing but tremors here in Idlewild. Not surprising. Not surprising at all. But again, you did not see this on the USGS map. Sometimes USBS will show tremors here in Idlewild, but they're not today. But you're seeing them here. You've seen a lot of them here. Okay, let's go out to the desert area of Southern California. Let's go out to Rancho Mirage, California. Look at this. The San Andreas Fault is busy here. It's very busy here. Again, we're seeing long duration tremor activity. Long duration tremor activity. This is because the San Andreas Fault is moving. Centimeters a day, but moving. Okay? It's moving. At some point in time, the San Andreas Fault is going to crack. It's going to pop. It's going to pop in a big way. It's going to probably pop in this area. It's probably going to pop around here near Rancho Mirage, out here in the desert. This is where scientists say the most power is centered here, locked up in the San Andreas Fault. Okay? Let's go out to Victorville, where Isaiah's granny lives. Most of us that have been here since I started with this program know Isaiah's granny. She's a very dear friend of mine. She lives out here in Victorville. Nothing but tremors out here. Nothing but tremors out here. The largest tremor is probably 1.5, 1.6 tremor here. That happened after 11, I want to say what, 11:08 this morning? 11:08 this morning, 1.6, 1.5, 1.6 tremor here. And there's smaller tremors here as well. Okay? Let's keep going here. All right. Let's go over here to Los Angeles. Just east of Los Angeles, there is a town called Chino, California. Chino, California, we've seen a lot of tremors here before. We've seen a lot of minor earthquakes here as well. At one point in time, just a few months ago, we had 2 to 3 minor earthquakes every 5 minutes. 2 to 3 minor earthquakes every 5 minutes. Look what's happening here. Things have really slowed down here in Chino, California. Nothing but tremors here in Chino, California. Yes, we have EMA family members here in Chino. I used to talk to them. In fact, I need to call them again. We used to talk about once or twice a week. Unreal. From minor earthquakes down to minor tremors, nothing more than that. Crazy. It really is crazy. Let's go over to North LA to Del Amo. Del Amo, California. Look at this. Del Amo is always busy here. Here we see tremors, long duration, and guess what? Consistent. Minute by minute. Top to bottom, left to right here. It doesn't stop. Here we're seeing tremors all the way up to probably 1.5, 1.7. 1.5, 1.7 tremors. Yes, there may be some 2.0 earthquakes here as well. There may be some 2.0 earthquakes here as well. Why am I saying that? Why am I saying that? Look at the bottom here, on the bottom red line. The bottom red line here starts off here at 1:30 p.m. on the left-hand side. We go out here 11 minutes later. Okay? Folks, this is 11:26 a.m. this morning. 2.4 earthquake here. 2.4 earthquake. It appears that this is probably the largest earthquake here today. All the rest of these are just tremors. All the rest of this activity is all tremors here. All quiet on the western front. No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm going to show you where this area is going to get very busy here on the north side of Los Angeles. And yet, nobody's saying anything in LA. Nobody's saying a darn word here in Los Angeles. Let's go out to Ellis, California. Again, this is on the north side of Los Angeles. Here we're seeing some 2.5, 2.8 earthquakes as well. Look on the red line here after 7 a.m. here on the left-hand side. 0700 on the left-hand side. That over here on the red line, this would be 7:15 a.m. We come over here to the right-hand side here. Now we are talking about 7:32 a.m. this morning. 7:32 a.m. this morning. We're seeing 2.7, 2.8 earthquake here on that red line. You can see quite a bit of activity here, huh? Minor earthquakes. There's nothing bigger than a minor earthquake here. Minor earthquakes. Yes, we see a lot of tremors here. We see a ton of tremors here. We see 2.0 earthquake here as well at the bottom of this. There may be 2.0 earthquakes here throughout the rest of this seismogram. But down at the bottom, over on the left-hand side, on the green line here, 1:45 this afternoon, we had a 2.0 earthquake. 1:45 this afternoon, we had a 2.0 earthquake. Okay? LS, California. Let's go over to downtown Los Angeles. Let's go over to the big city-county building in LA. Let's go down to the basement of the building. This is a seismograph, or seismogram here, showing the activity at the seismograph here in the Emergency Operations Center. Tremors. Nothing but tremors here. This is pretty typical of what we see here at the EOC. However, not always. 2 weeks ago we had a 3.0 here in Los Angeles. 3.0 small earthquake. USGS said nothing about it. But it made the news. Why did it make the news? Because KTLA, KCAL, and the other TV stations in Los Angeles felt equipment moving in their broadcast studios. That's the only reason. That is the only reason that they even said that there was a 3.0 earthquake in Los Angeles 2 weeks ago. Because they felt it. USGS didn't say a word about it. Caltech didn't say the word about it, but they confirmed with the television stations that they had had an earthquake in LA. Unreal. They confirmed they had an earthquake, but they didn't say how strong it was. Stupid. Literally stupid. Now, let's go over to Fontana on the east side of Los Angeles. Look what's happening here. 2.0, 2.5 earthquakes happening all over Fontana. This is over on the western side of the San Andreas Fault. The west side of the San Andreas Fault. Look at the earthquakes here. Yes, we have nothing but tremors, but we also have tremors / earthquakes literally all day long. Ranging in size from 1.7 tremors, 2.0 earthquakes, to I'm going to say 3.0 earthquakes down here in the bottom on the blue line here. This blue line here is 1:30 p.m. on the left-hand side. 1:32 p.m. this afternoon, I believe we had a 3.0 earthquake. 2 3.0 earthquakes. 1:32 and 1:34, almost 1:35 p.m. this afternoon. 2 3.0 earthquakes here. Unreal. Unreal. Fontana, California. But USGS is still not talking about it. Not wanting to talk about it. Why not? What are they trying to hide? Let's go over to Long Beach. Light hype. Look what's happening here. Yes, we're seeing tons of tremors. Back to back, top to bottom, side to side, tremors here. Literally all day long. And yes, down on the bottom, on the green line here. On the green line after 1:45 p.m. this afternoon. About 1:32 p.m. this afternoon, 1:42 p.m. this afternoon. Actually, not 1:42, it'd be 1:47 p.m. this afternoon. On the left-hand side here. This may have been a 2.4 earthquake. 2.4 earthquake here. And yes, it's very possible we had multiple 2.0, 2.4 earthquakes all day long. Because there's nothing but color here. Nothing but color. Seismic activity is rampant here. Scientific seismographic equipment is moving all over the place. The ground is moving here in Los Angeles. You can see it here. It happens this way all day long. Every day. Every day here in Long Beach. Okay. Now we've seen Long Beach. Guess what? I want to go over to Anaheim on State Street. Now we're talking about Anaheim, California. We're talking about Disneyland, Knott's Berry Farm, and many other amusement areas over here in LA. What are we seeing here? We're seeing 2.0 earthquakes. Yes, we are seeing tremors here as well. A lot of tremors. But we're seeing a lot of 2.0, 2.4 earthquakes here. All day long. Literally all day long. You can see the longer lines here on this seismograph. Okay? Seismograph doesn't lie. It puts out the output that the seismograph puts out. Okay? Minor earthquakes literally all day long here. Anaheim, California. Yes, in the past we've seen 3.0 and 3.5 earthquakes here in Anaheim. Yes, they've happened. But today things are a lot calmer. When they have 3.0 earthquakes here in Anaheim, they have to close down the rides here at the amusement parks. They can't keep them open. They have to close down the rides to make sure that the amusement park is safe. Then they can reopen it. When you have 10,000 people visiting your park on a daily basis, that puts a cramp in everybody's style. But yes, they do have these earthquakes here in Anaheim and Long Beach, California. We've shown you these earthquakes before. We've shown you these earthquakes before. And it's going to happen again. I fully expect a large earthquake to happen here in Los Angeles sometime this summer, if it doesn't happen before that. If it doesn't happen before that. Okay. Let's go north out here and east over to Mira Loma. This is just west of Loma Linda where the medical center is. This is Mira Loma. Here we're seeing nothing but tremors here. I think we may have had a minor earthquake here sometime this morning about 8 o'clock. 8:04 a.m. this morning. Probably 2.4, 2.5 earthquake. But that's the largest. All this area here is showing minor tremors. Minor tremors. Yes, at the bottom here we're seeing a longer blue line here at the bottom. But I don't believe what I'm seeing though. I'm not seeing any other information to accompany it. If it was larger or wider, I would see something here. But I don't. I believe the things that they've had here are just no more than tremors here. And maybe one minor earthquake here today. That's all. That's all. Mira Loma has gotten quieter. Mira Loma has gotten quieter. But, guess what? It's not over. It's not over till the fat lady sings, and I so far haven't seen a fat lady sing here. Let's go over to Moore Park, California, northern Los Angeles. Look at this. Tremor activity all over the place. Tremor activity all over the place. But just after 5:18 this morning, we had a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake this morning on the top red line here, on the left-hand side. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake there. Then we come down here on the second black line on the center right. This appears to be a 2.5 earthquake here. Again, this would be about 8:11 a.m. this morning. 2.5, 2.6 earthquake here at 8:11 a.m. this morning. Yes, we've seen some other earthquakes here, but it's late morning here. About 12:33 this afternoon, 2.8, 2.9 earthquake again. Okay? And that's just about it. On the red line here to the right, just above that. Okay? This would be on the left-hand side, 12:15, and we come over here. This would be approximately 12:23 this afternoon on the red line. Probably a 2.7 earthquake, minor earthquake. But that's all that's happened here today. Nothing but tremors and minor seismic activity. Okay? It's moving. LA's moving. Yes, Picoe. Earthquakes. Yes, these are earthquakes. Earthquakes in LA. And plenty of them. Damon Cabot says plenty of them. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's keep going here. Let's go over to Mount Wilson. When we had the fires in Los Angeles, they had fire going up the side of Mount Wilson. They had broadcast television towers there. Yes, we have tremors here at Mount Wilson. You can see them here. Literally all day long. Some of these tremors were 1.3, 1.4 tremors. Nothing larger than that. Mount Wilson is getting hit. This is over in the center part of Los Angeles. The center part of Los Angeles. Okay? I'm also going to show you another one over here on the hills over here in LA. I want to show you Santiago Peak. This is also where we have TV and radio antennas here. Ham radio and regular AM, FM radios here have their antennas and repeater stations here on Santiago Peak. You see nothing but tremors here. That's typically all we see here at Santiago Peak. Yes, it's busy, but this is all tremor activity. Nothing but tremors here at Santiago. All right, let's keep going here. I want to show you Part E, north of LA again. Look at this. For the most part, all we have are tremors here and minor earthquakes, except 9 a.m. this morning on the left-hand side on the black line. We come over approximately at 9:10 this morning. 10 minutes after 9 this morning. 2.9, 3.0 earthquake this morning. Yes, it started up with tremors. We had some minor earthquakes. Then all of a sudden all heck broke loose. 2.9, 3.0 earthquake happened. The seismic activity lasted just over a minute 30 seconds. We had the 3.0, and the seismic activity lasted another 15, 20 seconds. That's it. It was all over. All over. But a 3.0 earthquake here in Part E. Go figure. Go figure. Yes, we've had some 2.4, 2.5 earthquakes here as well. Okay? Part E is active, isn't it? Los Angeles is active. LA is very active. Now, let's continue here. Let's go to Rancho Palos Verdes. Rancho Palos Verdes. Rancho Palos Verdes also burned. Earlier last year, they had heavy rains. Rancho Palos Verdes flooded. There were mudslides. A lot of mudslides. Here at Rancho Palos Verdes, the largest seismic activity here is just 2.9 1.3, 1.4 tremor. 1.3, 1.4 tremors. There's a couple of them. A couple of them. The land is moving out there as well. Land here is moving out here as well. Moving all over LA. Now I want to take you over to Rinaldi, north of Los Angeles again. Tremors over here in Rinaldi. A few weeks ago we had some real good sized earthquakes. 2.5 and 3.0 earthquakes were happening here in Rinaldi, California. It's quieted down. It's quieted down. The largest earthquake activity here are just tremors. Nothing more than tremors here, as you can see. Another 2.4 in Central California, according to Richard. Not surprising. Coy says we're in for a blizzard warning again. Go figure. The upper Midwest, Minnesota, North Dakota, Michigan, Wisconsin area are going to see blizzards. Yeah. High winds and blizzards. 15 to 35 miles per hour winds and blowing snow. Go figure. Okay? Let's keep moving here. Let's see here. Let's go over to Santa Clara. Santa Clara, California. Nothing but tremors here as well. Quiet. Santa Clara is basically a bedroom community north of Los Angeles. Yes, there are some businesses here, but it's mostly homes and apartments. Santa Clara, California. It's a beautiful area. It's an absolutely beautiful area. They have some nice restaurants as well. Wendy here. Wendy B47 is from England. Welcome. We love our English-speaking people here. Not just U.S. speak, but English speak. Love you guys here. All right. Let's look at, let's see, University of Southern California. Down here in Los Angeles, University of Southern California, LA. Tremor activity. Lots and lots of tremor activity here. Nothing big. We haven't seen anything big here in months. University of Southern California, Los Angeles. All right, let's see here. See what trouble we can get into here. Okay, I want to go over to Playa del Rey over on the northwest coast of LA. Good old Playa del Rey. Wait till I show you this. Tremors here. But look what we had here early this morning. Interference. From 5 o'clock until 7 o'clock this morning, we had radio interference here. Don't know why. Have no idea why. But we had radio interference, that's what this is. Other than that, nothing but tremors here. Playa del Rey, Marina del Rey. Now folks, this is where a lot of money is. Playa del Rey and Marina del Rey are basically boat slips. Yachts and small boats. Okay? Unreal. It's just shaking the ground here. Lightly it's shaking the ground. Nobody's feeling it here yet. I believe sometime within the next few weeks we're going to see movement here in Playa del Rey, Marina del Rey area. Okay? Let's keep going. I want to show you Rinaldi. Good old Rinaldi. Again, north of Los Angeles. Here we had some time here where the stylus here on the seismograph moved a lot. That's because east of Rinaldi we have Walnut and La Puente Caldera. Walnut, La Puente, cities of La Puente and Walnut, California. Volcano action. I believe what we're seeing here with the stylus here is when the stylus was seeing movement of magma down beneath the surface in a magma channel, then we're showing this movement here. That's what I believe what happened here. Magma down beneath the surface was detected, and that's what we see is movement here. Okay, let's keep going. Laguna Niguel, right here. This is the southern coast of LA. Laguna. Nothing but tremors here. This is pretty typical here of Laguna Niguel. Very quiet. Yes, this area does move, but this is some of the quietest time we've heard here or seen here at Laguna Niguel. Very quiet. Very, very quiet. Yes, we've seen movement in Los Angeles. Yes, we've seen that. We've shown that to you. But along the coast, here is a different story here. Okay? Let's go out to Riverside. Just a few years ago, we had a bunch of minor tremors and earthquakes out here in Riverside. Now, 3 years later, it's quiet. But like I said, I don't think this will last very much longer. I think we're going to see, by this summer, we're going to see some movement here. A lot of movement. And like we said before, Riverside will be forever changed here after the San Andreas opens up. Riverside will be forever changed. You might think of Riverside as a quiet town, and it's an active town. I think there's 2.5 million people that live out here in Riverside. Riverside stretches all over the landscape. But what I used to know as Riverside probably will never be again. Seismic activity is going to rip this place open. It's a matter of time. Very much a matter of time. Yes, we have EMA family members out here in Riverside in that area. Get ready, guys. I hope you're prepared. I hope you have a preparedness kit. I hope you have a first aid kit. I hope you're ready to have your world turned upside down. Because that's what's going to happen. I do not think it will be past the summer. Sometime during the summertime. Okay? Get ready. Get ready. Let's look over here in San Diego County. Okay? I want to take a look over here at Mission Valley. Okay? I showed you downtown San Diego City on the map. This is Mission Valley, San Diego. The Rose Canyon Fault comes out of Los Angeles. The Rose Canyon Fault connects with the Inglewood-Newport Fault. It goes out into the water just off the coast of LA. It comes down the coast of LA and it comes back onto land about Encinitas, California in North San Diego County. The Rose Canyon Fault comes down into San Diego, goes over into Mission Valley area. That's where this seismograph is located. This is San Diego Gas and Electric Building in Mission Valley. Look what we have here. This afternoon, at 2:06 this afternoon, 3.0 earthquake. 3.0 earthquake. The earth shook here in San Diego for just over 30 seconds. The earth shook over here in San Diego for about 30 seconds. Okay? That's what's going on. Now, I have not seen this kind of activity in San Diego for some time. Excuse me. The Rose Canyon Fault is capable of a 6.5, 7.0 earthquake. The Rose Canyon Fault here in San Diego is capable of a 6.5 to 7.5 earthquake. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, especially if we get an earthquake over in Newport Beach, California, or Inglewood, California. That's when all heck will break loose, because the seismic activity will travel down here into San Diego County via the Rose Canyon Fault. Promise. Promise. We see the movement. We see the movement all over this area. Let's go over to Julian, California. Look at this. Nothing happened here. I showed you this, the earthquakes that USGS were saying was happening out here in the East County, San Diego. Okay? The Anza-Borrego Desert area is moving, isn't it? This area of Julian is on the San Jacinto Fault. You see nothing but tremors here. You see about a dozen tremors here. These tremors will not shake you at all. You're not going to feel these tremors at all. But Julian is moving. This town of Julian is moving. Julian has had snow and is going to see more snow, and more snow is coming in. Rain is coming in here into Southern California as well. Lots and lots of rain. Snow in the mountains of Los Angeles, snow in the mountains here in San Diego City. Actually, not the city, the county. Northeast San Diego County. Let's go now over to the Imperial Valley. The Imperial Valley of California. Still Southern California. Good old Southern California. I just love it. I told you where North Shore of Salton Sea was. Guess what? Long duration tremors here. Nothing but long duration tremors here on the San Andreas Fault here in North Shore Salton Sea. Fun games. It doesn't last long, does it? Look out. Let's go south here along the east side of the Salton Sea to Bombay Beach. Look at this, guys. As I said before, I was going to show you these earthquakes here. 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes everywhere. 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes all over the place here at Bombay Beach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 earthquakes here. 8 earthquakes here. The largest one appears to be after excuse me, I'm sorry. After about 5, I'm going to say 5:25 yesterday evening. On the red line here at the bottom. 5:25 yesterday evening. 3.5 earthquake here. 3.5 earthquake here. People felt this earthquake here now, here in Bombay Beach. Unreal. This is on the San Andreas Fault, ladies and gentlemen. 8 good-sized earthquakes here. People felt these earthquakes. Down here at the bottom. Down here at the bottom. Actually, that earthquake I told you about was not 1700. That was 12. It started off with tremors at 12:10, or not 12:20 p.m. today, and then it continued for about 3 minutes. Upwards of 3.5 earthquake here. Then over here after 1:17 p.m. here on the bottom left on the red line, this is a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake, and it was off and on for another 2 minutes. Okay? Then, at 1:32 p.m. this afternoon, another 2.7, 2.8 earthquake hit. That seismic activity lasted about 60 seconds, maybe a little bit more. But you can see this activity here. 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes for the most part. All over the place. Bombay Beach, California. Let's go south. Let's go south to Calipatria, California. That's where the San Andreas Fault comes out underneath the Salton Sea. Calipatria. Look at the earthquakes here. Look at the earthquakes here, guys. Up at the top of this, the seismograph starts recording information about 2 p.m. last evening, yesterday afternoon. This red earthquake here, the red is made by the computer. The red marker is here by the computer, by the internet. Okay? The red is done here to get the attention of the seismologists. Hey, look at this. You need to see this earthquake. This, folks, was a 2.5 earthquake here. 2.5 earthquake about 3:50 yesterday afternoon. 3:50 yesterday afternoon. Look at the other earthquakes today. No joke. All this seismic activity happened last night before midnight. You see midnight over here on the left-hand side. Then you can see nothing but tremors here. Nothing but tremors. Remember what I've told you about USGS? This is the USGS seismograph. Up until today, USGS had turned off the seismographs, or turned them way down to where they're not seeing anything, but they've been messing with the seismographs. Guess what? They're not messing anymore. We're starting to see more and more activity all day and all night long here. For about a year, they turned the seismographs off about 9 or 10 p.m. at night and didn't turn them back on until about 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Now they kept them on. Now we're seeing full-blown earthquakes and tremors here. Look at all this tremor activity here last night. Tremors and earthquakes all day long here. All evening long here. That's a lot of activity. Then this afternoon here, I'm sorry, it goes from late morning here into this afternoon. Look what happened. We go from tremors to minor earthquakes, 2.4, 2.5, 2.6 earthquakes, 2.7, 2.8 earthquakes here. just about 10, I want to say 10:10 this morning. 2.7 earthquake. 2.6, 2.7 earthquakes here. 2.0 earthquakes here. This is a lot of seismic energy here. Calipatria's seismogram typically shows anywhere from 50 to 150 earthquakes every day. This one is about 75 earthquakes. 75 earthquakes today since last night. Look at all this activity last night. Unreal. Unreal. Calipatria's seismogram is showing us a lot of data, isn't it? Yeah. Yes, it surely is. Okay? But it's not the only thing. It's not the only thing. Yes, we saw some 3.0 activity last night. We're not done yet. We're not done. We haven't heard the fat lady sing yet. I showed you Calipatria. Let's go over to Westmoreland. As the San Andreas Fault leaves Calipatria, it goes southwest to Westmoreland. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Westmoreland is moving. The San Andreas Fault here in Westmoreland is moving, and it's a moving great deal. We're seeing tremors, we're seeing minor earthquakes, and we're seeing 3.0, 3.2, 3.3 earthquakes here, even today, this afternoon. Look what's going on. Look what's happening here. Let's enlarge this to take a look and see what happened and when it happened. Okay? Down here. 11:40, I want to say 11:49 a.m. this morning. 3.0 earthquake. 9:49 this morning, the 3.0 earthquake. A minute and a half later, another 3.0 earthquake. Fascinating. Fascinating. 2.5 minutes later, we have a 2.3 earthquake. Then we have tremors all the rest of the evening. Unreal. Then, at 12, and this is this afternoon, at 12:34 this afternoon, another 3.0 earthquake. Westmoreland, California. Look at the other earthquakes here as well. At 13:15 hours on the red line here. 13:06, 1:06 p. 1:21 this afternoon on the red line. 1:21 this afternoon on the red line. 3.0 earthquake. Then about 5 minutes later, we have another 3.0 earthquake here in Westmoreland, California. Yes, we've seen a bunch of tremors as well. This is what happens on the San Andreas Fault here in the Imperial Valley. Let's drop down to Juanito's town of El Centro. See what we see in El Centro. Actually, before we get to El Centro, let's make a stop at Imperial, the town of Imperial Valley. Look at this. The town of Imperial. Nothing but tremors here. Tremors and minor earthquakes. Tremors and minor earthquakes literally all day long here in the town of Imperial, California. Unreal. It did not stop. Did not stop. Minor tremors and minor earthquakes here. The town of Imperial. Let's drop further south to El Centro. Okay, where did El Centro go here? There it is. Look at the small earthquakes hitting El Centro today. There's over 23.0 earthquakes here. There's over 23.0 earthquakes here. This is a lot of shaking. And Juanito and his family and everyone else that lives there felt this happen. It's too bad we don't have Juanito here. Richard Smith says snap, crackle, and pop. Yes. Pretty much. Pretty much. Southern California is moving, guys. Southern California is moving. El Centro is moving. The town of Imperial is moving. Bombay Beach on the east side, central east side of the Salton Sea, is also moving. A great deal. A great deal. One other spot I want to go to is over at Holtville. I showed you where Holtville was on the USGS map. Let's check out Holtville right now. Let's see here. Right here. This is Holtville. For the most part, all we saw here were tremors all day long until this afternoon. At 1300 hours this afternoon, 1 p.m. this afternoon, 3.3 earthquake this afternoon, 3.3 small earthquake this afternoon, then tremors, and then we come over here until we get here to 1:11 p.m. this afternoon. 3.0 earthquake. 3.0 earthquake. About 30 seconds later, this time we have a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. Tremors and minor earthquakes all day long. All day long here. Here, the San Andreas Fault comes through here and leaves here and goes into Mexico. Unreal. This whole area is moving, guys. This whole area is moving. I wish there was a seismograph down in Calexico, along the border area of Calexico, because, folks, we would see a lot of tremors going on. Down just south of the border, just east of Mexicali, we have a province of Mexico called Guadalupe Victoria. That area of Mexico is getting ready to pop. Back in 2010, April 3rd, 2010, we had a 7.1 earthquake. 7.1 earthquake in Guadalupe, Victoria, Mexico. That earthquake is felt all over into California, all the way over into Arizona, and as far north as Los Angeles. It broke windows and skyscrapers in San Diego. I was there. I saw and felt it. Guys, we're going to see that earthquake again. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. It's going to happen. It's going to hit. I promise you it's going to hit. We're going to see it. We're going to see it. Now, I want to show you some interesting things here. My mother's birthday is today. I've got some pictures of my family here I want to show you. This here is a family portrait that we had done once I got back from Sweden. This is about July 1977. My brother Mark, standing next to my left, was about to leave for Italy. My brother Scott never served a mission for our church, but he's a strong member of his church in southern Utah. In September 1991, our mother passed away of cancer. Our father passed away December 15th, 2015. Today is my mother's birthday. I want to pay tribute to my mom. This is my mother holding one of my children. I believe this was Eric, my youngest son, who's now about 35 years old. This is my mother about 1985. Sorry about that. This is a picture of my mother in 1990, 1 year before she died of cancer in Poway, California. She was standing over on the sidewalk in front of their home. The home behind them belonged to one of our neighbors. My dad and mother owned 3/4 of an acre there in Poway, California. My mother died September 1991. Just before she died, my parents had another photograph done here. I'm going to reduce the size of this. Sorry about this. I didn't realize this photo was so large. This is a picture of my parents 1 year before she passed away. Beautiful lady. I paid tribute to my mother and father today. I miss them so much. They raised me to be the man that I am today. I love and appreciate them a lot. Does anyone have any questions about anything we talked about tonight? I'm happy to take any questions you might have. My mother would be very proud of me because I've been broadcasting for a very long time. I've always wanted to do this, and I'm doing it now. Folks, if you want to help contributing to our program, 2 days from now I'm closing down our post office box, and at which time I will give you our new address where we'll be at, where you can send cards and letters to us and packages. We'd appreciate that a lot. We'd appreciate that a lot. You can still send us emails to rltnspdema@gmail.com. rltnspdema rltnspdema@gmail.com. You see our post office box here. That will be open until Thursday. I'll be closing it down on Thursday because we've not gotten enough donations to keep it going. Even if we didn't get donations, if we had cards and letters keep coming in, we'd keep it open. But my wife and I made a decision this past week to close it down. We did get a card from Alice in British Columbia. Right here. We did get a card from Alice in British Columbia the day before yesterday. Dear Ron, thank you for constantly reporting on the West Coast Cascadia earthquakes. It means so much to me. I still watch you on YouTube, but that is my extent of my viewing. I just want to reach out to you with this card, letting you know that your handwork is noticed. Your hard work is noticed. Thank you, sir. Take good care of yourself and take courage. Keep up the good work and may God be with you. Bless you. Thank you, Alice. This is a beautiful card here. Thank you, Alice, for this card. This card says sometimes the people we count on the most are the ones who hear thank you the least. Thank you so much, Alice. We appreciate you a lot. Today, we got another, and Alice gave us a donation here as well. Got another card today in the mail. This came from Pat Rooney, who you see frequently here on the chat. EMA, you are greatly appreciated. EMA, you are greatly appreciated. The front of the card says thank you. We appreciate that. Starting tomorrow, I'll give you our new address, where you can still send cards and letters to us, which we would greatly appreciate. Okay? To help support this program, Rob52 is here, and he's a man I greatly appreciate as well. I love this man. He's a great Christian man, as most of you are. Rob put up our PayPal addresses. Our Emergency Management Associate, EMER MGMT ASSOC 591 at paypal.me. Okay? rltnspdema at hotmail.com. Venmo. Venmo is at Ronald-Tyler-17. rltnspdema at hotmail.com is one of our second PayPal locations. You can still send donations to our PayPal. We greatly appreciate it. You send a donation to Venmo. We haven't gotten a donation at Venmo for at least 2 years. 2 years. We only get 2 or 3 donations at PayPal now, unfortunately. We used to get PayPal all the time. Doesn't very much happen. I understand money's tight. But it takes money to keep this program on the air. I've told you this before. Each month we pay $253 a month for bandwidth to keep this program on the air. $253 a month. Not just that. It takes $160 every 6 months for the post office box. We can't afford it anymore. We appreciate all of you here. We had to purchase this computer about 4 months ago to keep this program on the air. And then we had some issues with it, and I got a friend of mine to fix it. So now we're back here. Rob, bless your heart. Rob52 just gave us a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Rob. God bless you. I just gave you an EMA sticker on your super chat. I gave you a thumbs up. God bless you, Rob. God bless you. We have a lot of mods here. The reason we have a lot of mods is because in the past we've had a lot of trolls. We have some mods here to help keep this channel on, because the trolls were doing things in our chat that could have made life very bad here and possibly taken our channel down. I appreciate each and every one of our mods here. We love you very much. Love you very much. Now, folks, we are going to continue talking about emergencies. We're going to talk about disasters, and we're going to talk about emergency preparedness. That's ongoing. We have a lot of storms still passing across the United States and Canada. Rain and snow right now in the Rockies and over in Utah as well. Going into Colorado as well. I don't remember who, I think it was Coey, said that Minnesota, they were going to have blizzard conditions. Not surprising. As that storm moves out of the Pacific Northwest and California, it's going to continue moving east. And we're going to see some bad storms again by this weekend here on the East Coast. Everybody needs to make sure you have what you need to have to get through these storms that are going to hit. Please do that. Please take care of yourselves. Do know that we love you. We pray for you. We pray for you every day. Now, I'm going to open up my scriptures right now to a scripture that was one of my mother's favorite scriptures. It's over here in the New Testament. It's been a favorite scripture of mine and my family's for many years now. A lot of years. This is found in Philippians chapter 1, verses 3, 4, and 5. Then I'm going to go over to verse 27. I thank my God upon every remembrance of you, always in every prayer of mine, for you, making request with joy, for your fellowship in the gospel, from the first day until now. Over in verse 27. Only let your conversation be as it becometh the gospel of Christ, that whether I come and see you or else be absent, I may hear of your affairs, that ye stand fast in one spirit, with one mind, striving together for the faith of the gospel. My mother's favorite scripture. I'm going to go over to chapter 2 now, starting with verse 1. If there be therefore any consolation in Christ, if any comfort of love, if any fellowship of the Spirit, if any bowels and mercies, fulfill ye my joy. Ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind. Let nothing be done through smile or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind. Let each esteem other better than ourselves. Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. Let this be mind in you, which also was in Christ Jesus. These are great admonitions. Wonderful admonitions here. Brothers and sisters, as you know, I love our Savior Jesus Christ. We're coming into the season of Easter. I believe it's Sunday, March 17th. Or I mean, not March 17th, that's already gone. April 17th. As we prepare for Easter, let's remember who Christ was and what he's done for us. Not just what Christ was, but what he is today. Our Savior, our King, our Deliverer, our all. Christ created this earth for us. He gave up his life for us. How great a man is he? Wonderful Counselor, the Almighty God, the Prince of Peace. Let's remember that. Let's remember that in everything we do. May we all be examples of Jesus Christ and help each other and love each other. God be with you until we meet again. Thank you, Mom. We love you. We love you. We'll see you soon in heaven. God be with you all until we meet again. We will see you on the other side. I hope you have a good night and a better tomorrow. If anything else happens, we'll be back here to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. Have a good night, folks. God be with you. See you soon. Good night.